on. Now she's so strong. Now she on a higher level, you gotta be on. This is her show, now you gotta perform. If you don't like it, then you better be gone. And
hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And as you guys can see on the thumbnail, today I'll be doing this cute little French set, and we added 2 accent nails. So let's just jump right into this video. So right now I am prepping the nail using my 150 sanding band, and my drill is at 6,000 RPM. You never want to use your drill at a very high speed, especially for prepping the client's natural nail, because the natural nail is very delicate. So we're just trying to remove the shine from the nail, that way our nail does not lift. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your side walls and your cuticle area, especially because this is where lifting starts. So now I'm just going to use my nipper and remove all the excess cuticles. That way when I come in with my cuticle bead, you know, sometimes when you apply your cuticle bead, if you have hanging cuticles, that can get in the way. And also removing the excess cuticles help with the overall aesthetic of your work. It just makes everything cleaner. So now I'm just going to use my nipper. While I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and use that nipper and cut my client's natural nail. That way her nails underneath are nice and tidied. So after that, I'm just going to remove all the excess dust from the nail. That way I'm working with a clean nail, and I'm just going to use some alcohol to dehydrate the nail. This is going to help with the bond of the acrylic to the nail. Alcohol is a dehydrator, so if you do not have dehydrator, or if you're looking to save some money, you can definitely opt for using alcohol instead of going to buy dehydrator itself. So now I'm just going to apply the nail tips, applying the glue exactly at the free edge. You do not need to glue your nail tips halfway through the nail. All you need to do is glue it at the free edge of your client's natural nail, because if you glue it halfway through the nail, you're not going to have enough space to apply your acrylic. You want to have enough room on the client's natural nail to apply your acrylic. That way the acrylic bonds better to the natural nail. Also, whenever you are applying your tips, make sure that you're applying your tips straight. That way it's harder for the nails to be crooked in the end. So always make sure that the tips are on straight, because if the tips are on crooked, it's very hard to get the shape back. So make sure that you fine-tune this and the tips are on super straight. And as you can see, I'm using all size 0s and size 1s to do this set, because she is going for that duck nail look. But mind you, also, even if your client is not going for the duck nail, you could still use size 0s and size 1s. The most important thing is for the tip to fit from side to side. So get that scissors and cut the tips to fit the nail. You do not have to open a new case every time you're out of size 10s or size 7s. You can cut the 1s and the 0s just the same. So just now I make sure that the tips are all on the same length, and then now I'm just going to come in with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm going to shape the nails. I like to pre-shape my nails because this works as a guide for my acrylic application. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure everything looks like how I want it to look, and she didn't want the duck nails to be too exaggerated. She just want that flare. So I'm just going to use my hand file and bring the sides in a little bit. That way is how we get it to the desired look. So some people like their duck nails extravagant, some people just like that mini duck, like just not square, just like a flare from the square. You know, every client is different. So that's what I'm doing now. So I don't know if I want to call this tapered ducky or something, but yeah, this was super cute. I really love this shape, and I still don't know why people can't get into duck nails. Duck nails are cute. I mean, not that it's something that I would wear, but I love to do it. They're really cute. So you always want to make sure that you pre-shape your tips, especially in the beginning. That way, like I said, and this is also going to help you to save time as well, because when you apply your acrylic and you apply it super neat according to the shaping that you did, then you have to do like minimal shaping in the end. So now I'm just going to blend the tip to the natural nail. That way my acrylic application is nice and smooth, especially when you're doing ombre. You do not want to skip this step because the ledge of the nail tip is going to show through the acrylic. This does not take that much time, so spend the extra 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, 5 seconds to blend the tips. So as you know, we have to dust the nail and then apply the primer. We already dehydrate with the alcohol before, so after dehydrate we prime. You never want to skip priming because your nail will also lift. When I'm starting to apply, I like to sit my brush in the monomer. That way the bristles loosen up a little bit. So I like to sit my brush even if it's for 10 seconds. That helps a lot. So you always want to make sure that your acrylic brush is completely saturated before you start working. And I'm using this pink. It's called Juicy Pink. It's all the products that I use in this video will be listed in the description box. So first you're going to go in your monomer, swipe towards your client, and then the first bead, I'm going to place it right where the tip and the natural nail meets. And then I'm going to gently guide the acrylic to the tip of the nail. When you're doing your acrylic application, you do not want to be aggressive, guys. Please, 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 I'm always being super gentle because I do not want to remove the acrylic from the nail. I want the acrylic to stay on the nail, so you have to be gentle with that. So now I'm just going to apply my cuticle bead just above the cuticle and then gently tuck it back, and then flush the rest of the acrylic to the rest of the nail. So you always want to make sure that also when you're applying your acrylic, each bead serves a purpose. So the cuticle bead is supposed to cover the cuticle area. The apex bead is supposed to build the apex, and the free edge bead is supposed to take care of the free edge. So always apply your acrylic very intentional. Now I'm just going to apply one more bead, and I want this bead to be like my blending bead to tie everything in, because when I looked at my nail, everything didn't seem like blended smooth. So I did go in and I add another bead. You always want to make sure when you're working, you're analyzing your nail and see what you need to do. On this nail, I'm going to do a 1 bead method. So I'm just going to place this right above the cuticle and then gently tuck it back while I'm holding my client's finger downwards. That way the acrylic flows to the tip of the nail, while I'm giving the acrylic gentle strokes and gently tapping it. I'm not overworking the acrylic. I'm just tapping it and guiding it to the tip of the nail. Next bead also, I'm going to do a 1 ball method. Come in my powder, press and bounce, apply that acrylic just above the cuticles, press and release. Tuck that acrylic in the cuticle area, making sure you cover your cuticles and your side walls without leaving any gap. You don't want to leave gap because this is going to cause lifting. So make sure you're covering all those areas in your cuticles and in your side walls. And like I said, gently stroke the acrylic to the tip of the nail and use the belly of your brush to cut the acrylic. Sometimes we struggle with removing the excess acrylic, but if you use the belly of your brush, this is where the most pressure is on your acrylic brush. So the tip of the brush, I mostly use that for feathering, but the belly of the brush, which is the midsection, that part of the brush has the most strength to it. So you always want to make sure, let's say for example, your acrylic is drying too fast and you want to move it towards the tip of the nail, you use the belly of your brush. If it's curing and it's hard to move, you want to use the belly of your brush, because this is where the pressure is, like I said before, and also to cut the acrylic. So you always want to make sure that you're looking at your application from the side view as well. When you look at your nail from the side, this is where you're going to be able to see if you need to apply acrylic in any specific areas, or you can look on the structure of your nail and see what you need to build up more. So that is me looking at my nail from the side, and then I noticed that on the ring finger it was kind of flat in the back, so I wanted to apply another bead, that way my apex is visible and then it flows down to the tip. So before I applied the acrylic, I noticed that the tip of the nail was higher, and I do not like that. Your nail is supposed to look structured, and the apex is supposed to be your highest point. I'm using a number 12 acrylic brush, just in case you guys are wondering. I never use a 16 or a 18. I'm a number 12, number 14 girly. So with the number 12 brush, I am able to pick up any size bead that I want, because you have to remember, it's not about the size of the brush, it's about the amount of monomer that is in the brush. So if you are trying to see what size brush you want or what size brush is best for you, if you want to work and you want to pick up more bead, just remember that a small brush can do the same thing. So my number 12 brush picks up bead as big as I want it to. All I need to do is leave more monomer in the brush. I'm sorry guys, but I do like to remove all my acrylic. I don't like to leave acrylic hanging, because then this is going to dry and I'm going to waste time after trying to fix that. So now I'm just going to shape my nails, guys, using my 100 grit hand file, and I'm just going to make sure that I keep everything nice and straight. And you see how, because my application was so neat, I do not have a lot of shaping to do. I just need to come and tidy up my edges and do the free edge of my nail. I like to go up and down with my hand file, because I feel like I get a sharper look from doing this. And I do go over my shapes over and over and over again until it looks how I want it to look. Doing nail is not about rushing. When you rush, you make a lot of mistakes. You want to make sure that you are taking your time and you're getting all the details right. Trust me, the more you do it, you're going to finish so fast without even recognizing that you're finishing fast. You just need to make sure that you're being intentional about everything that you do. So when you're filing, don't just blindly file the nail. You want to make sure that you're looking at the nail from all angles, and then you fix what needs to be fixed. Or if you feel like you need to go in more on one side, you need to just do that. But I notice with a lot of beginners, they just file just for filing. No, you need to file with intention. Look, see what needs to come in more, see what needs to be straightened, and work accordingly. So now I'm just going to drill my acrylic using this medium drill bit that I got from Amazon. I'm going to try to link it in the description, but right now all I'm doing is covering all my sides and my cuticle area to prevent lifting. And I'm also going to clean up my free edge, that way we have that cute dot nail vibes. You know, if you want to have that dip in the nail as well, that C-curve look that the girls be doing, you can get that look just by using your drill to create like that dent in the middle of the nail. So when you're doing this, you want to try to keep the drill in the midsection, and then when you're going towards the ends of the nail, you kind of like, you don't want to make it straight. So the middle of the nail is supposed to have a dip, and then it comes out to the end of the nail like with the flare. So you just want to file accordingly, and you can just use your drill bit and place it underneath, and then just create that dent in the middle with your drill bit. It's not hard to do. Like, the more you do it and you know the look that you're going for, you're going to be able to achieve this very, very easy. You just want to hold the bit super straight, get that dent in the middle, and then get that flare look. And to get the flare look, when you're going to the end of the tip, I hope I'm explaining this right. When you're going to the end of the nail tip, you want to do like a curve. So the middle is the dip, and then your bit is supposed to go outwards after that. I hope that makes sense, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so when you're filing as well, guys, make sure that you're sealing your cuticles and your sidewalls, because this is where most of the lifting starts. And if you prep and everything in the beginning and you have a very neat cuticle bead, if you're not sealing your nail, trust me, it is going to lift. So make sure that you're paying attention to sealing your nails, which means getting in those sides like you see I'm doing right now, getting in the cuticle, making sure that area is nice and flat. Also, when it comes to the surface of the nail, you want to hold your drill bit extremely flat. That way the drill connects to the entire nail, and when the drill connects to the entire nail, it is going to blend the nail together. So when you're going over the surface of the nail to achieve that nice smooth surface, hold the drill bit flat. That way it's going to connect and bring everything together. And also when I'm drilling, like at this step, my drill is at 19, 18, 17, anywhere between 17 and 20,000 RPMs. And you could start at 10,000 RPMs. And while the more you get comfortable with your drill, you increase your speed. The main thing to do is make sure that you have control over the drill, and you have to use your pinky finger in order to keep the drill stable. So that pinky finger is very, very crucial. You want to make sure that pinky finger is following you, and I'm talking about the pinky finger that I'm using to hold the drill. Do you notice how much it's moving around? That because that pinky finger is going to help you to have control over the drill, and it's going to help you to keep that drill stable. So make sure that you're using your pinky finger at all times as a guide and as your stabilizer. I do hold my drill in between my thumb and my pointer finger. If you notice, my thumb is over the top of the drill, and then my pointer finger is like holding on to the side of the drill. So play with the drill in your hand, but for the most part, this is how you have to hold your drill. And just make sure that if you're not comfortable with drilling as yet, what you can do is use a safety drill bit just until you get like more comfortable with controlling your drill bit. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to apply base coat before my French. Base coat is like a sealer. So sometimes if you notice, when you draw your French without applying a base coat, when you apply that white polish or whatever color that you're using, the acrylic, like the polish flows in the grit of the nail. So, and it has that cracky look that, you know, that doesn't give the French a flawless look. So use your base coat, and then you're going to see a difference with the sharpness of your French lines. So for my French, I'm going to start from one side, and then I go to the opposite side and meet in the middle. So for Frenchies, this is how I started to practice French, and I perfected it. A lot of nail techs, they do like V shapes and then they meet in the middle and all of that. I'm not that type. This is how I start to practice, and I feel like if you start practicing like that as well, it is going to become second nature, and to me, you're going to learn it faster. So just try to start from the side, visualize it in your mind where you want the point of the French to be, and then you're going to start from one corner, meet in the middle of where you see that point of the French. Then you're going to come from the opposite side and meet right there. So first I create my French line, and then I shade the rest of the nail. So try to practice it like that. If you want like a more detailed line, make sure that you're using the tip of your liner brush, and you have to be using a good liner brush as well, because sometimes the liner brush, the bristles are all over the place. Your liner brush needs to be at a point. If the bristles are all over the nail, the polish, the art is not going to be as sharp as you want it to. So make sure that you're using a very good liner brush, and make sure that you're taking care of your liner brushes, because I've been through a lot of liner brushes, and that's because I did not know how to care for them. So I just find out that you should not use acetone on your liner brush. Do not use acetone on your liner brush. You need to be using a brush conditioner and a brush cleaner. So I stopped using acetone, and ever since, the lifetime of my liner brushes has been way longer. This brush, probably I'm on the second month, but trust me, it's a very good brush. It's from Origin. I'm going to leave the link in the description as well. This is my second brush from them, and I really love it. They do sell the brush cleaner with it as well. So if you want thicker lines, you need to flatten your nail art brush a little bit more. But if you want finer lines, work with the tip of your nail art brush. When you're doing a French, you always want to make sure that your client nail is complete, your client's hand is completely relaxed. That way you can really see if the French is crooked or if you need to fix anything. Imagine doing a French like applying your nail tips. So when you're applying the nail tips, you want to make sure that the client's hand is relaxed. That way you can see the true direction of which your client's hand goes when it's relaxed. So it's the same thing with the French. If you want to bring it to a certain point, you have to make sure that your client's hand is completely relaxed. That way you can tell where the point of the French is, where is lopsided, and keep looking at them. Like what I do, if I feel like I'm not getting a specific finger right, I just leave it. I move on to the next nail and then I come back, because I feel like because I'm looking at it for so long, I can't see the error or I can't fix it. So if I'm struggling with one of my French, I just leave that one. I'm like, girl, bye. Move on to the next nail and come back to it. So that way I feel like it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you can't just get one finger right to look like the other fingers, move on from that finger and then come back to it, and trust me, it's going to be a big difference. So yeah, these are the Frenchies. This is super cute, and I can also see this pink right here with a black French would eat down. You hear me? That would eat. I could see this pink with a black. The white is sexy, don't get me wrong, the white is hot, but with a black on it, ooh, chef kisses. That would eat down real bad. So on the ring finger and on the thumb, I'm going to put this cow print just to add 2 accent nails. So with the cow print, you need to use your dotting tool. Dotting tools make the best prints. Like when it comes on to circle looking things, you need to use your dotting tool. Your nail art brush will not give you this look. So, and the dotting tool is just so much faster. This is what the dotting tool is for, to make dots, circles. So use your dotting tool for this part to put your nail art on. I did, like in the past, used to use my nail art brush. It's not the same. This job is for a dotting tool. And to do a cow print, I'm just going to make random dots throughout the nail, and then I'm just going to come through and go over the dots and try to create that cow print effect. Fill in what I see needs to be filled in, and then when I'm satisfied, I'm going to let my client cure that under the light, and then I will apply my top coat. So guys, don't forget to like this video, please. Why are you not liking the video? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this pink. When you like the video, YouTube will push it and show more people my content. So make sure you're liking the video and let me know like what kind of videos you guys want to see me, what kind of videos you guys want to see me doing, like what type of content y'all want to see. So this is the final look, guys. This pink eat down, and if you click the link in the description, you're going to be able to shop this pink and all of my other nail supplies. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like, give me a thumbs up. Bye.
I'ma tell you right now, you better be good to me, girl. Let me take you home.